Hello there, year 8s, Mr. Herman here, and this is the new topic of topic 7, chance, which we'll be doing using the Essential Assessment Program. This skill we'll be looking at is expressing probabilities as fractions, decimals, or percentages. The learning goal is to look into the language of probabilities through fractions, decimals, and percentages, and the success criteria is you can be able to describe probabilities through the use of fractions, decimals, or percentages. We're going to fast track this set of topics. Usually you'll use 2 periods in order to do one skill, but this time, because we're nearing the end of the term, we are going to be doing just 1 skill per lesson. So effectively you'll be doing 4 skills within this week. I've gone ahead and grabbed a few examples from Essential Assessment. So here are the examples here. We're just going to go through 4 examples. First one here, question 1. The chance of Sadie's team winning a netball match is 1 in 2. Which is the probability expressed as a percentage? Now, before we tackle this relatively simple question, I want to make sure that you understand the language of what's going on here. And there's quite a bit to dissect within this question. So Sadie's team winning a netball match is 1 in 2. So they can either win or lose. So the 1 in 2 is the probability itself, and it's in sentence form. Now there are 3 ways that we can express this. We can either express this as a fraction, which is 1/2, or as a percentage, which is 50%, or as a decimal, which is 0.5. These numbers, specifically the fraction and the decimal, will always be a number between 0 to 1. 0 being the no chance of something happening, and 1 being 100% or certainty that a certain event will happen. So in this case, because there's a 1 in 2 chance for Sadie's team winning the netball match, this will be half as the most simplified form, or 0.5, and this 0.5 is obviously in between 0 to 1. So in this case here, all the options available are in percentage, and in this case, this is a 50%. Now this is an intuitively simple example because we're dealing with such a simple fraction, but to actually know how to get from 1/2 to the percentage using the calculator, you want to use a specifically scientific calculator because of the fact that you can put a fraction within there. We're going to press fraction button. We're going to put 1/2, press equals, and then press the SD button. This changes it from fraction to percentage, decimal rather. To change it into a percentage, whatever the decimal is, you just multiply this by 100, and this is where we get our 50%. So it's fraction to decimal, and then multiply it by 100. So you won't need to do it for every single type of example if you're comfortable with your fractions, but there might be a question where there's a 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 chance, or maybe a 2 in 9 chance, and the fraction isn't as easy to transform from fraction to decimal. Second question over here. The chance of rolling the number 4 on a die is 1 in 6. What is the probability expressed as a fraction? So we know that there are 6 numbers that you can get on a 6-sided fair die, and the odds or the chance of rolling a 4, because there's only one of them, there is a 1 in 6 chance. So this written simply as a fraction is 1/6. I sometimes see students fall into the trap because they're dealing with the number 4. They think there is a 4 in 6 chance, which is incorrect because this implies that there are 4 number 4s within a 6-sided die, which is not the case. Or sometimes they might put 1 and a 4 chance. This implies there's only 4 sides to a die, but there isn't, there's 6. So this, again, is also wrong. So all you need to do is just simply put the fraction of what the probability is. Question 4. Within this skill, the chance of choosing a red card is 1 in 4. What is the probability expressed as a percentage? So 1 in 4, so as a fraction, is 1/4. Again, if you want to use your calculator, if you're not too familiar with the fractions of converting a fraction to a decimal, this is 1 out of 4, so fraction button, 1 out of 4 equals. Press the SD button, which will change it to a 0.25, and then just multiply that by 100. You should get 25. So there is a 25% chance of choosing a red card within a 52 standard card deck. 1 out of 4, 25%, or 0.25. All the same in representing this particular probability. There are just 3 different ways to express it. They want it in percentage, so it is 25. The last example I'm going to show you, which comes from question 11, is order the following probabilities from least to most likely to occur. In other words, from lowest to highest. Now just be careful with this question, because sometimes the question might say from most likely to least likely, so you got to do the reverse process of that. So just be careful, because I've seen students fall into the trap where they just think it's always lowest to highest. What you need to do is, because we see there are 3 different formats of a percentage or of a fraction of a probability being shown. There is the percentage, there is decimal, and there is a fraction. There's also another decimal and a percentage. You want to convert all of them to a consistent format. Now, because 2 of them are already in percentages, and I've just shown you how to convert to a percentage, we'll keep the percentages as is. So we've got the 25% and we've got the 80%. Now 0.4, if it's already in decimal format, all you need to do is just multiply it by 100 and you'll get 40. So 0.4 is 40%. Half we already know is 50%. And 0.7, as you can imagine, if 0.4 is 40%, then 0.7 has to be 70%. And just to double check, make sure 0.7 times this by 100, 70%. So now we have this consistent format of all of these probabilities being shown, and they're already in order from smallest to largest. You've just got to remember that 40% is associated with the 0.4. So you put that as second, half as third, and then 0.7 as last. So all of the questions before and after 11, just follow that format, whether you're going to change from a percentage to a decimal to a fraction. If you want to change a percentage of some sort, say for instance 80%, and you want to change that to a decimal, so you want to change this to a decimal, you're doing the opposite of changing it from decimal to percentage. So when you change it from decimal to percentage, you would just times it by 100. If you want to change it to a decimal, just take the percentage, in this case 80, and do the opposite, just divide it by 100. I will show you the fraction format, which is 4/5, and then pressing the SD button will show you the decimal format, which is 0.8. SD to fraction, and this will be 4/5. And you can apply this to any type of percentage, it doesn't matter. I can have some complicated percentage like 93%. To change it to a decimal, I know that's 0.93. And to change it into a fraction, so let's go 93%, let's go divided by 100, and this is 93/100. Sometimes I might show you 4/5 because it's simplifying the fraction, or show you 93/100 because that is the most simplified version of it, which doesn't really simplify at all. Okay, that is it to this skill. It's a relatively new skill, or easy skill I should say, because it is the starting of the topic of chance. The questions afterwards, or after the skill, will get quite tricky, but for now, enjoy the easiness of it, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Salut.